So I'll be joined on the podcast this week by Shane Kingston before Cork's All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship semi-final against Dublin this weekend. I suppose, first of all, Shane, how are you feeling ahead of the game? Like, it's a big game for Cork.
Yeah, no, we're feeling good. Obviously, yeah, it's a big game. After winning the Munster final now, we kind of put the heads down and kind of trained hard over the last kind of 2 weeks. Yeah, looking forward to the game next week, big time, yeah.
Before going more depth in hurling, we had a piece in the Southern Star recently where you were a special guest down at Goleen for their dinner dance in recent weeks. So how did that all come about? Like, it's a kind of an interesting combination. Yourself, a brilliant Cork hurler, and the club in Goleen.
Yeah, it's a long story, but I went down to Goleen over winter with my girlfriend, and we were just walking around, and I just walked into a pub and just had a drink and bumped into that group and ended up staying with them for the night. So that's how it came about, and they invited me down then a couple of weeks ago.
Would you come down to West Cork again?
Yeah, I would, definitely.
I suppose talking hurling, obviously, winning the Munster Championship with Cork in recent weeks, first Munster since 2018, like, that must be absolutely outstanding for the group.
Yeah, it was great to win. I suppose, as you said, it's the first one since 2018. I was involved in 17 and 18 when we won back to back, and you nearly think that it's going to be a regular occurrence winning a Munster, or I suppose getting a bit of silverware. But as the career goes on, I suppose you learn it. Things don't always pan out that way. So it was very sweet to win another one a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of cherished it on the day, and it was brilliant for the group. But yeah, I suppose we had our 1 or 2 days off, and we grouped together then on the Monday night and got focused on the semi-final then straight away.
And winning 2 trophies in 1 year, obviously the league title in the bag, the Munster Championship in the bag, that's kind of a good habit to have for a Cork team, I'm guessing it too.
100%, yeah. I suppose winning silverware any year is brilliant, but I suppose winning the league and the Munsters obviously is great, because I don't think any one of us had a league medal, and there's probably a fine chunk of the group didn't have a Munster medal either. So that's going to build a bit of confidence in them that they've kind of got 2 medals, 2 out of 2 really for this year. So yeah, and as you said, kind of builds a bit of momentum then as well.
I suppose off the pitch as well, like in the dressing room after the Limerick game, singing "Kill" after winning the Munster Championship, that song by Kingfisher. That had an indication that the group is really united and together for the cause this year for Cork hurling. Do you kind of feel that amongst the group that you're all just a band of brothers in many ways?
Yeah, like, it's probably no different to any other year, really. I suppose we're just lucky in a sense this year that we've had a bit of success so far. Ever since I've been involved, the group has been a very tight-knit group, and you've the best of your friends are there 4 or 5 nights a week, and it's kind of always been that way for me personally. But yeah, like, as I said, no different to any other year. The group is really tight, and always has been since my involvement, really, to be honest.
Is this the best year that you've had in terms of success so far in a Cork jersey, in your opinion, Jim?
Yeah, I didn't have a league medal, so yeah, I had 2 Munsters. So yeah, a league and a Munster in the 1 year is, yeah, my most successful year.
I suppose the fans driving on as well. Like, it's supposed to be a full house this weekend against Dublin as well. Like, it's like the fans are really driving on this Cork team at the moment. I think Marty Morrissey mentioned in RT commentary that there isn't a fan left in Cork after the Limerick game. So like, the fans are really getting behind you in this championship run.
Yeah, they are, and it's great. I think most of the time when people are talking, they mention our fans, which is brilliant, and it's a credit to them. But I suppose the group and the management and everyone really does appreciate it, and we understand the efforts that people do make to go to all these games. But we just try to go out there then, and I suppose do them proud, and I suppose make a good impression on them when we know the the sacrifices that they're making to be there on the day.
I suppose, does that give you kind of an energy on the field as well, that the fans are really getting behind you and it kind of seeps onto the pitch?
I'd say it would, yeah. Like, I suppose everyone's probably different, but definitely initially when you run out and you hear the roar and see the sea of red like around the stadium is definitely gives you bit of goosebumps anyway, which is brilliant. As you kind of go through the warm up and get into the game, then you kind of change your focus then, and your focus on the ball and how you can perform to the best of your ability. But when you hear the roar then as well, it's brilliant.
I suppose your opponents in the semi-final, Dublin, after beating Limerick in the quarter-final, in any way, Shane, like a lot of people were shocked by that result. You as a group, were you shocked by that result, Dublin beating Limerick?
For me personally, probably not, because as I was saying earlier, I just remember last year in the quarter-final in Thurles where we were all on the 13, 21-yard line trying to prevent the goal because we were only 3 or 4 points up coming down the stretch. So we knew what Dublin were about that day, and we saw it then again against Limerick. So we weren't surprised in the slightest. And look, as we were saying earlier, that anytime you go down to 14, it's going to be a tough game to win. But I suppose they just worked hard and their attitude was spot on, and they got rewarded kindly for it then.
I suppose it's kind of a scenario here where there's no second chances. There's 4 very good teams left, and including Tip and Kilkenny on the other side. Like, it's really knockout hurling now. It's getting to that stage.
Yeah, 100%. So I suppose anytime you go to Croke Park, it's knockout hurling really. But look, I suppose that's the reason you train. It's the reason you're back in October, November, December, running in the mud and the rain. You're waiting to be in this position, and thankfully we're in it. So it's obviously a privilege to be there. So, we're going to do the best we can now over the next kind of week to 10 days and try to put in the best performance we can against Dublin.
Just on a side note, like playing in Croke Park, do you relish that kind of shame? Because you've played in Croke Park so many times over the last few years, you've put in some brilliant performances up there. Do you enjoy playing up there?
Definitely, I suppose. Anytime you're Croke Park, it's, as I was saying, it's a quarter-final, semi-final, or final. So it's a privilege, as you said, to be there. And you just want to make sure you're on the winning side of it when you are there, because at the end of the day, it's knockout championship, and you don't want your season to end premature. And then when you're in a stadium like that and the pitch in peak condition, you kind of relish that opportunity to get there, because it mightn't come around the year after, and it doesn't happen too often.
I suppose one final thing, like on the boss himself, Pat Ryan, how much of an influence has he had on the team? Like from the outside, he seems like a brilliant motivator to have for the players.
Yeah, like he came up with the 20s and had success with them, and he's done a good job in kind of amalgamating and getting that balance between the kind of younger guys, the middle guys, and the older guys. And the players have made that effort as well to, I suppose, get to know each other and get so friendly. And yeah, no, look, it's been great having the younger fellas come in, and you can see the additions that they've made to the team and the panel then as well.
Absolutely. So, listen, Jane, best of luck and at the weekend, and the whole of Cork is behind you. Thanks very much for your time, Shane.
Thanks, Matthew. Cheers.